Hey there, all my wonderful friends. So today I want to get into the current events. You got China. So the CFO of Huawei, which is a Chinese phone company, and actually very good phone company, and one that Chinese people, even wealthy Chinese people, like to use. And the thing about Chinese is they do a lot of self-deprecation about their own stuff, how their products are inferior, and a lot of that is because they have to market to a population that doesn't have as much expendable income, so they make inferior but cheaper products. And it's also a part of that is just how countries industrialize. America too at the beginning made inferior products. You know, thank you to JFK for consumer rights that he did. Our products, slowly improved, and for other reasons. But Huawei is a good company. The Canadians abducted the CFO, detained the CFO of Huawei. The thing about that is she is a woman. And that's going to relate to something else I'm going to talk about. Not just any woman, the daughter of the founder. And Chinese are very family oriented. They care about their family. They express how much they care about their family. I'm not saying it's all lovey-dovey. I mean, Chinese parents are very hard on their children, but at the same time, they also show a lot of love, typically. I mean, it's hard to generalize. But the thing is, America is a scary country to Chinese. And for them to know that, for him to know, the founder, to know that his daughter is being detained by America, that is probably the biggest leverage you could have against him. I don't know if he has other children. There used to be a law in China that you could only have one child per family. That may be the case, but either way, I'm sure he has a lot of love. I'm going to pick it up in a little bit. There's traffic and I got to get over. And I'm late. But anyways, so not only was that his daughter, and they detained her on the same day, a Chinese physicist well, he's an American Chinese physicist. He's a professor at Stanford University. Hold on. Happened to fall off a tall building to his death. And the thing is, in quantum physics, which is like next generation warfare stuff that American government's been working on for a long time. And they probably don't want China to have an advantage. So that is a move that a country would do before war. And of course, it's a crime against humanity because it's a very important inventor. Not only that, there's a Dutch company that's making processors for Huawei, I believe. With their equipment, it cost like over $150 million, was burnt to the ground, all on the same day. So anyways, they have the founder's daughter. And I know we tend to think that our country is lawful and stuff, but it's really not. Nothing has ever changed. We can read history how the rulers were unlawful or unethical, and that's basically how it is today. And the thing about Huawei, it's not that, in my opinion, that's a big spy company. It's a company that the U.S. intelligence services can't convince to have a backdoor into the phone, so they can spy, so they can have that metadata, so they can use algorithms to know what's basically going on around the country, around the world. And that's what they want. That's what they have a grip on. And that's, to me, the biggest reason why they are against that company. Now, they talk about technological theft, and sure, I'm pretty sure initially they copied off of Cisco and stuff, but now they're doing their own thing. They're innovative. They're a future of the company. Again, they're respected. They're a respected Chinese company, respected by their own population, selling very expensive and affordable phones in the Chinese market. So, and now here's an irony. They're going to jail her for selling what we call spy phones to Iran, a country that we don't like, that we took out the democratically elected government in 1953 and installed a monarch, dictator, brutal guy, the Shah, into power. he wasn't totally, there's definitely been worse, but the bottom line is we took a democratically elected official out, and we say that Iran is a threat, and we've done all these things to pretty much promote them to seek weapons like nuclear weapons, but that's a side note. But if these phones are all about spying, why do we care if they have them in Iran? That makes no sense. And on the other side, we'll let our weapons manufacturers sell guns to Saudi Arabia, UAE, Israel, all the while violating human rights, killing women and children, starving people. But yet Iran, who hasn't gone to war for hundreds of years, waged a war of aggression, is a big threat while we have our bases all around it. It is just complete hypocrisy. Now we'll go into China, because they're making China a hostile threat. I'm going to go over some of the propaganda, attempt to go over some of the propaganda and tell you the truth. So let's see. China, I've got an e-drive right now, so it only goes 75 miles an hour, which is kind of annoying. Hold on. Take it off that, because it distracts me. So now you hear the motor kick in, sorry. But anyways, I'll get back to you. We're often told that China is an oppressive government, communist is oppressive, whatever, communism is oppressive. Right now, China is number one in self-made women billionaires. That does not sound like an oppressive country. Not only number one, they have 2/3 of the world's women self-made billionaires. And that's just one statistic that I'm pulling, but they have a lot of self-made billionaires generally. Now, some of them are going to lose their wealth. Okay, number two, China is only copying American technology, or is stealing American technology. Right now, China holds the record in artificial intelligence patents, and sure, there are programs that the United States government has that we would not know about regarding artificial intelligence, but on paper, they hold the patents for that. Oh my God. Excuse me. Fuck out of the fence. Sorry about that. China holds, well, they're number one in artificial intelligence patents and also blockchain patents. Just to give you an example, they are patenting the vast majority of those technologies right now. So yeah, sure, at one time they were copying. That's not what's going on. And if you go back to Chinese history, they were very important in astronomy. They invented the central rudder of a boat so it could navigate the open ocean. They invented gunpowder, not to use as weapons, even though they surely had projectiles after inventing it, but to celebrate life. That's what sort of people they are. Are they civilized? Their civilization is over 4,000 years old. It's 5,000 years old. And over 4,000 years China's a military threat. Is it? They've never waged a war of aggression in 4,000 years. When they had the central rudder, they invented the compass so they could sail the ocean, open ocean. I'm sorry with my words. They could sail the open ocean way before we could. What did they do with that technology? Did they go around exploiting, finding a new world, stealing it, enslaving populations, taking Africans over there, taking people captive and demanding gold? No, they went around initially giving gifts and establishing trading partners. Are they a military threat? They invented the Great Wall. They made the Great Wall not to expand, but to keep people out, to keep violence out. That is the people. So, and they invented porcelain, fine china. They invented writing. It was invented in the Middle East at the same time. They invented the printed text. They have a lot of inventions. So we all think that, they can't invent nothing now. Only we can. We're the inventors. Like, no. Well, it's because they're capitalists that they're doing good. No. Okay. The logical manifestation. First, there's no perfect government, no uncorrupt government, but capital tends to accumulate. There might be a cop over here. Motorcycle. I'm fine. Capital tends to accumulate. First off. Secondly, oh God, hold on. The logical manifestation of capitalism, how it's played out, is that everything becomes privatized, which is a horrible crime against humanity, a horrible crime against the population, where they're extracting things like our oil from our federal land, paying the government nothing, paying us nothing, and raking in billions of profits off of that oil. In China, no, it's not capitalist. There are a lot of state-run. They wouldn't have private utility companies. Even the homes that people live in, whether it be tall buildings or separate homes, American-style homes, they have state-run property development companies where all that capital from whatever speculation or people buying homes goes to the people, goes to the government. That is not something you would see in a capitalist society. And, I go back, why has that communist society been allowed to advance? Well, one reason might be is because, Nixon's détente or whatever, they went over there and kind of befriended China even while Vietnam was going on, and in an attempt to isolate Russia. So that was one country that avoided the capitalist encirclement that continually happens in socialized countries, e.g. Venezuela, and so many other Central and South American countries that wanted to give the resources to the people, whereas the people in the West wanted them for the rich imperialists, the Westerners. China was somehow able to avoid that. And I was actually in China talking to someone. One of the reasons they thought was because China opened up its doors to the Jews during World War II. And they thought that Jews were, at least that was part of it, were repaying that. And, a lot of people have done well after the civil rights movement, in which a bunch of the lawyers during that movement were Jewish. But I think Jewish people in the Congress, there's 48 of them with dual citizenship. They're doing really good. They have a lot of influence in our country and around the world. That may be part of it. That was just his theory. But I tend to think it was just what happened after World War II and after Nixon wanted to isolate Russia. Hold on. Anyways, I want to go into them killing a physicist, quantum physicist. That doesn't look good. It kind of looks like we're preparing for war. And the thing is, it's sad. It's sad because wrong or right, no culture is perfect. China is not an aggressive culture, and when you go there, the amount of love they show for Americans, and I that was just my experience. I lived there for 4 months. It's just very sad how we're treating them. They're not our enemy. They didn't want to be an enemy. They can be an enemy, and they can be an effective enemy. It's not going to be easy. I don't know what sort of technology they have after the Pentagon's been stealing so much of our money, trillions of dollars. But they're not going to be an easy enemy to fight, especially if we try to invade them. And why kill these people? What for? Just for the imperialists to distract us and steal some shit? And maybe they won't. Maybe they just want to threaten China, make it look like that, killing physicists. And again, whatever, he was very important, expected to win the Nobel Prize in physics. They've done this since time immemorial, where they steal from the whole world by trying to keep their own power. Anyways, everyone have a wonderful evening, wonderful day, wonderful weekend. Be safe. Take care. Thanks for watching.